The internet is a completely underutilized opportunity or wealth of knowledge for a lot of financial advisors. And one of the things I think we don't completely appreciate about it is how much information there is at our fingertips, not only to help us meet CPAs, but also to learn more about the industry, the CPA industry, and certainly the law industry. So what I wanted to do today was just spend a couple minutes talking about some of the different resources that you should be aware of. So the first one right off the bat, and let's focus on CPAs for a few minutes, would be the AI CPAs website. What they are doing for you is they are collecting all of the news nationwide, and they're basically funneling it right into one simple website. And they put that on your lap where they have news about what's going on in the industry. What are the industry hot buttons? What deadlines are coming up? All types of things that if you really want to position yourself as an expert or at least familiar with the CPA and what they're going through, then really you should be spending time absorbing this type of information. So the AI CPA's website, like I said, is a great resource. A Journal of Accountancy, Accounting Today, and then also any state you have has a state group. In California, it's the Cal CPA. So I'd suggest just Googling your state name, CPA, and there will also be a group that funnels more state-specific information than the AI CPA's website. Some of the other things that you should do, make sure you're following blogs. You know, some people are not as comfortable on the internet, so let me kind of explain. A blog is typically just almost like a diary or a journal and you can have anyone from a fifth grader taking notes about his dog to some very significant thought leaders in the CPA industry. There's a number that I could rattle off the top of my head, but if you're going to focus on one or two, I would say Ron Baker is certainly a thought leader in the CPA industry and is getting a lot of exposure in the press right now. Some of the other things to think about is LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. A lot of these groups like the AI CPA, the Cal CPA, etc., all have their own unique groups on these different kind of networking sites. So get on there, build a profile for yourself, follow some of the more active users in your community, and also, wherever possible, add value to that conversation. So look for opportunities to either make comments, not sales comments, but just general comments, or ask questions. Ask educated questions, not just questions that are kind of off topic. Do a little bit of research and then ask questions that are kind of thought-provoking. Obviously, the more threads, the more people responding to these types of questions, the more value you're bringing to those communities. So really what we're talking about is not only becoming more familiar with the lingo, with deadlines, with the hot pressing buttons on what's going on, but you're also establishing yourself as somebody who is not just short-minded, short-term focused on looking for referrals or immediate transactions. You're actually building a presence online. The last thing I want to talk about with the online kind of opportunity is what it actually does for you in conversation when you're sitting down with COIs. So for example, if you're staying up to date with what's going on and you know that October 15th this year was one of the busiest 10-15 deadlines there's been, then when you're actually meeting with the CPA, an appropriate question would be, you know, I've been reading that this was one of the busiest October 15th deadlines there's been. Was that your experience too? He's going to sit back or she and realize, wow, you know a little bit more than the average financial advisor about what I'm going through. It obviously just positions you in a much better light. So take advantage of all the wealth of information that's at your fingertips, and then make sure you use that, educate yourself, and bring that into the conversations you're having out in the community.